everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk about Black History Month. The month that is a celebration of my people, because I am a black man and everything. And it's about all our accomplishments, all the oppression that we have gone through over like centuries of living in like America and stuff like that. And even till this day, we are still being oppressed. And so I'm here today to talk to you about certain characters or TV shows or episodes that revolve around Black History Month that I personally enjoy. So I'm here today to talk to you about the Parker Anderson Season 1 episode Father and Son. So this is my very first Parker Anderson review. I've been doing the whole Amelia Parker thing, but I haven't finished Amelia Parker yet, but it's kind of like I've been wanting to know what the world happened at the mall. So yes, like you have to watch the Father and Son, the Parker Anderson show episode before you watch the Amelia Parker Best Friends Forever. And also you probably should watch, okay, this is how you should do it. You should always watch the first episode of Parker Anderson and then the first episode of like Amelia Parker, and then just keep going on from there, because both shows correlate with each other, which is very strange. I've never seen a show do that before. We have two separate shows and you have to watch one before you watch the other. It's kind of neat and interesting, but it's so confusing. I hope no other show tries that, because I had no idea until like last night. I've been talking about this show since December. So, okay. And also, the whole Amelia thing, she barely shows up in the Parker Anderson show. So, what happened at the mall? Remember in Amelia Parker, Best Friends Forever, I told you that Tony, I remember his name now. Tony came in and said that him, Charlie, and Nate had a little bit of a run-in at the mall where they were racially profiled. So this is what happened. But also, not only, so they're the A plot of this episode, and Victoria is the B plot. Let me get into the whole Victoria thing first, because hers is just like really fast. So Victoria's at the mall with them, and she's in some type of coffee shop thing, and she walks up to the register and she starts talking to like the lady to get her order, right? And the lady's about to take her order. What she doesn't realize is that somebody's like, and she turns around, and there are two black people standing to like adjacent to the left of her, behind her, and they're like, you know, one of the girls like, you know, you cut in front of us, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see you. I was just like in my own little world and everything. And the girl's just going, So Victoria knows something's up and she did something wrong, and stuff. So she goes over to the table and talks to the girl, because she recognizes the girl at her school. She's all like, you know, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I meant like no disrespect. I hope you weren't too offended by that. And she's like, oh, that's all right. But, you know, this happens a lot. And so she explains that in black culture that people tend to do this a lot, especially like white people. Like they'll see somebody in line and they'll just straight up cut in front of them and think they can do that. This happens to me a lot, and I mean a lot. It is very frustrating, and it doesn't matter who's at the cash register. It could be a white, black person, because like this happened just recently when I was at the store. Like this like woman just like cut completely in front of me because she didn't see me on the other side of the aisle. And so she cut directly in front of me, and the cash register lady saw me and just kept like, you know, she attended to her, and then when I got to the line, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry and everything. But that lady just cut in line, so I was just trying to hurry up. And it's like, but you saw I was next, and I've been waiting for a while. It is so frustrating. And it happens a lot in black society. It's just like, people think we have to come like second or last, and it's like so messed up. And so they have their heart to heart as the girl is trying to like explain to Victoria. Now, Victoria is not racist whatsoever. She's white. Her brother and mom are white, and they have now been married into a black family. And she gets along very well with the black family. Sometimes her and Nate kind of get into it, only because Nate thinks he's all that, but Nate gets into it with everybody, so, you know, stuff at some point. And so, like, because Nate's kind of like, ooh, the wild child. Look at me, I'm so pretty, and everything. And Victoria's kind of like, okay, let's do everything by the book, everybody, like type of person like that. And so like. So one thing that's interesting is that so the girl. Okay, I forgot to mention the best part that really offended the girl. So, the girl she offends, as you can see in this picture, she's black. And so when Amelia's all, not Amelia, when Victoria's all like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see stuff like that. So then she decided to be like, then she started to bring up a historical black figures all like, did you know that this person changed their last name because of a poem and all that stuff? I think it was Frederick Douglass and stuff, because that wasn't his real last name. He just changed it to a poem. And the girl was just kind of like, oh my God. She's all like, and and see, you're not supposed to do that to black people. It's kind of like, if you offend us, don't bring up that, oh, you knew this one black person, or you read this one thing about black people, or you like this one black like celebrity and stuff, because then it kind of seems like you're pandering and apologizing just in the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And so they have more and more of a heart to heart and discussion about this. And so like one problem is that so when the girl keeps telling her, this, and that, you shouldn't do that, and stuff like that. Victoria is just like apologizing, like within seconds. But she's apologizing and not quite understanding what she's apologizing for. She's just apologizing because now she feels guilty. And this is something that happens a lot. And it's so annoying and everything. It's just like, sit down, shut up, listen to us. and you will understand like what you did was wrong. Don't just start apologizing and then wait and see if you agree and then you apologize and stuff. And then if you don't, then of course we educate you even more. And so the girl explained that, she knew she probably didn't mean nothing by that, because she doesn't think that Victoria's like a bad person, but then Victoria's all like, I come from like a black family and everything, so I would never do that. But then for some reason the black girl got mad about that. I keep saying black girl because I forgot her name. So I totally forgot that girl's name. And so the girl got kind of upset with her when she said, oh, I come from a black family, I'll never do that. I don't know why she would get upset about that, because it was kind of like, and Victoria picked up on that too and stuff. And it's kind of like, because like all the girls saying that, I understand, like, I have like black people that like I'm now related to, and I would never disrespect like a black person. And so the girl kind of didn't want to listen to that and stuff. But then the girl explains to her, even sometimes she's guilty too, because she was she was with her friend who's Asian, and something like her friend and like see something, and she's all like, open your eyes and everything. And that's offensive to Asian people, because they have like the squinty eyes and stuff, and they don't have like the double eyelids, and people are always thinking they have their eyes closed and stuff. And so she said even sometimes she messes up, and every day's like a learning lesson and stuff. And so those two are gonna, Victoria's all like, well, no, first the girls are like, a lot of people don't see color and everything. And Victoria's like, oh, I totally see color, and my dad doesn't. And then we find out why her dad doesn't. I'm kind of that way too. I don't really see color that much, like when I go out and about, until somebody gives me a reason to see color, like when they stare at me for too long and stuff, or they give me like a weird look as I pass by them or something. And, and it is kind of annoying, because the girl did mention like, y'all always trying to like apologize and make us feel better and everything, but y'all don't understand why y'all are trying to make us feel better. And that's so annoying and everything. And so like they're gonna agree to like do better and then be friends. Now let's get to Tony and stuff, because that's more the whole serious aspect of what happened at the mall from the Amelia Parker episode. So Tony, Charlie, and Nate, they go to the mall. Charlie's like, like doing this whole Chris Angel thing, trying to dress like him, doing magic stuff. And so when they're at the mall and they're in this store, like just a store that sells like everything, electronics, toys, stuff like that, you know. And when they enter, I noticed something odd. Like Tony greeted himself to like the two employees that were there, the two white employees. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, but I think to myself, the employees are supposed to say hey to you first, and then you say hey back. Like I've never seen a person say hey to them first, you know. And then he explains why that is. So I'll get into that a little bit later. So anyway, Charlie's just being his goofy self, running around playing with toys, and Nate's following him, and because Charlie's like the youngest, and so Nate can see that one of the employees, the younger one, who's white, keeps staring at him and keeps walking around the corner looking to see what they're doing. He's racially profiling him. He's trying to see if Nate will steal anything. And so, like, see, with this episode, they don't do it subtle. They kind of like hit you hard on the nose with it, kind of like in a very forceful kind of way, and in a very extreme kind of way. But sometimes it is that extreme. Sometimes it can be subtle when you're racially profiled, and sometimes it can be extreme. Because I had two incidents in a grocery store. One was subtle, and another one was more extreme. The subtle one was like, okay, this woman was at the cash register. She forgot to pay for something. She left it somewhere, I think on the conveyor belt thing. I'm like, oh, hey, look, you forgot that. So I helped her out. And so when I leave the store, I get one of the employees that are like, we need to search your bag. See, whenever I go somewhere, I take like this bag with me because normally I have my tablet with me. And I don't want to carry my tablet in my hand because one, I don't want nobody trying to steal it. And two, it's kind of big. It's like 10.5 inches and stuff. So I always keep like it in the bag and on my back. And it's not like a book bag per se. I don't know what these things are really called. It's like, okay, they're in the shape of a book bag, but they're made out of very thin material with a strap that you can either put like on both like shoulders or just around like your chest area. So it's one of those type of bags, like a drawstring type thing. You like open it with the strings and stuff. So I always keep like my tablet in that, and they're like, "Can we search your bag?" And I'm like, "Why?" And they're all like, "Oh, because somebody in the store thought you were stealing something and blah blah and stuff like that." And and I think they say they saw your hand on your bag or something like that. How many times have you seen a woman with a purse in the store and you never seen nobody be all like, "Ma'am, can I check your purse?" It's so frustrating and annoying. So I let her check my bag and everything, and nothing was in there. And it was just so annoying. They assumed that I would steal something. There was no video of me trying to steal nothing. I wasn't trying to steal nothing, but they assumed because they wanted to racially profile and stuff. Then so that's more like the subtle type thing. Now let's get into more of the extreme. So back with Nate and Charlie, he tells Charlie like, "Look, we gotta go like now," because Nate can kind of tell what's about to go on. This dude keeps following him, keeps trying to see if he's trying to steal. He knows that at some point he's gonna try to pin something on him, and plus they don't want to shop in the store like that with their racially profile. So he tries to find the dad. The dad is getting the look as well from like the older employee and stuff. So him and so when Tony goes to ask a question about something he was gonna buy, um the employee didn't even look at the thing and just be like, "Oh, it's this and that." He's all like, "Look, you didn't even look to see what I was talking about." And so the dude just kind of said something kind of snarky to him. And Tony's all like, "You know what? Screw this. We are not going to shop in the store that's going to disrespect us." So when Tony leaves, he's kind of being like, he's kind of like knocking into stuff like on purpose. And stuff with his shopping cart. So he finds the two kids and they leave empty handed. And so when they leave, the alarm sounds. So the older employee makes them come back. And he's all like, "We need to search." And he's like, "Why? We ain't doing anything." He's like, "Well, that alarm's going off for a reason." So he makes them go through it again. He makes all of them go through it. What he should have did is made one of them go through it at a time. Now, this happens a lot in stores. Whenever this happens to me, I always stop and I come back. I'm all like, because sometimes the alarm really does just mess up. Like that's happened a lot. I noticed that when other people go through it and they're like, "Oh, you're fine, whatever." And so like, um, so they're gonna call security. Of course, it's Roger, who is Charlie's dad. He is Cleo's. ex-husband and stuff. And so, like, they all talk, and he's all like, look, we ain't still nothing, this and that. And this person just like accusing us. This person has been racially profiling us, constantly staring at us and stuff like that. So he's all like, so then Charlie, for some reason, I forget why, leaves the store. And then it goes off again. So then Roger's kind of like, all right, I think I know what's going on. He's all like, Charlie, did you forget to pay for something or put it in your jacket? It was like a toy race car. I don't know if he was actually trying to steal it, or he just literally forgot, because Charlie's just goofy in the head. And so Roger gives the toy back to the dude, and he's all like, all right, problem solved, and this and that. Well, before even all that happened, the employee kept bumping into like Tony, like hard, like disrespecting him. And somebody said something. I think it was Roger or something like that. And Tony turns around, he's like, oh, I ain't gonna let this go. And he tells him, like, y'all have no idea what it's like being black and assuming that everybody thinks that you're some kind of like gangster or some kind of like criminal or thief or something like that, which is the honest to God truth. And then, so one thing I've always noticed about this show is that when I watch Amelia Parker, I noticed that everybody gets along with everybody very nicely. And it's very pleasant, and it's a very safe type show. I'm just like, I always wonder, how is it that Roger, Tony, and Cleo always get along so well? Because Roger used to be married to Cleo and stuff, and he gets along fine with everybody and stuff, until that one time when his nephew was there and he got tired of him being in his place, but that was something completely different. I was just like, the dude, like, Roger's always like a slap happy person. I see him in the Amelia Parker show. I was just like, how come there's never no conflict in this show? And now there is, because this is more of the family show and stuff. And so Roger is oblivious to, like, what's it like to be black, and black people are constantly racially profiling, and Tony has to like school him, but Roger refuses to listen because he's been taught in a certain kind of way, and just like his daughter said, he doesn't see color and stuff. It's not that he's not a racist, hateful person, like a toxic person. It's more like he is unaware of his racism and stuff, his privilege and stuff. He's unbeknowing to, like, prejudice and stuff. So he ends up being like kind of like he ends up like sounding kind of prejudiced, kind of racist and everything. Like, oh, it's not no big deal, and Tony's like, it is a big deal, only because he's unaware of it. And there's all kinds of racism. There's hardcore extreme racism, there's unaware racism, and then there's there was a third one I forgot. Not cavalier racism. Maybe nonchalant, probably. I can't think of it right now. And so he literally has to like school, like, Roger. And it's funny because the dude plays Tony. Even when he's angry, he still sounds like a nice guy because of that British accent. And so, like, he's really, really, really pissed at like Roger. He's like, oh, man, ain't no big deal. Everything's fine now. And like this and that. But it's not fine, like, because he shouldn't have to go through that, because Roger would never have to go through that. And so he has to now teach Charlie the same thing. He has to teach Charlie the importance of why, when you're a black person, he tells him you always have to keep like your guard up. You always have to like look around to see who might be judging you or following you or this and that, because it can end up badly and everything, because you never know what type of person like you're gonna get in the store. And that is the honest to God truth. Now, he does explain the nod that black dudes do with one another. He says, now I've never heard of this, he said it's to know that, hey, I see you, I got your back in case something happened. I've never heard that. I've always heard a nod as, hey, I acknowledge you, and I basically saying what's up. And that's even what Nate tells him. So I guess there's probably two different versions of that, I guess. I'm not sure. But like, I've always known the hey, what's up type thing without saying hey, what's up and stuff. And it's so funny, the whole nod thing. Like it just comes naturally, like to black dudes for some reason. Like I've noticed, I started doing that without even knowing why I was doing that when I was in college and stuff. And so so now he has to educate like Charlie about like racial profiling, this and that, and how like like it could literally mean the difference between like your freedom, being in prison, or being shot. You know what I'm saying? Because like that is sadly what like a lot of black men have to like go through and all that crap. And so, and I know this for like, boy, you have no idea. Like my other story, the string one. So let me teach you a little something. I always knew that around Christmas time and Thanksgiving, they would have like undercover security in certain places like mall or like places that sell everything if they have like break-ins and stuff like that. Or also just around holiday times because it's the holidays and people still around the holidays. I already knew them big malls and stores had that. What I did not know is that smaller stores have them, and also grocery stores. So for months, like every time I would be in the store, no matter what day it would be, there would be this one white guy with an angry look on his face, constantly staring me down. Every time I would go to like one side of the store, all of a sudden there he is. I'll go to like another side, all of a sudden there he is. I will like sit down and play on my tablet. He will be like staring at me and giving me like the death stare. I never knew what the world this dude's problem was. And this happened for months and months and months, right? And so, like, one day, when he constantly kept staring at me, I'm like, okay, I don't know what this guy's problem is, but I need proof that the dude is like following me and like staring at me and everything like that. So when I walked past him, I thought I was gonna be slick and record him on my tablet. But of course, I held my tablet up in a way that kind of like, a person would never walk with it and looks like they're recording. He's all like, hey man, did you record me? I'm all like, yeah, man, because you keep like following me and staring me down. He then tells me, oh, I got something, I'm gonna fix you and everything. I'm like, what the world do you mean he gonna fix me? Like, you know exactly what that means, right? And he takes out his phone. So I'm thinking he's calling like backup or something like that. Cause that one time happened to me too. When I was in college. And this came from like a former friend of mine and everything, where he called his friend and they were gonna like jump me in like front of like everybody, all because like a stupid like rumor he heard and stuff. So anyway, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't know what's going on, but I ain't leaving this store getting jumped, getting killed, getting whatever from his like redneck looking behind. So I decide I'm gonna call the police and everything, just to have them deal with his behind. When the police come and everything, the strangest thing happened. He's all like, can you delete that video? I'm like, why? And he's all like, okay, the dude who you encountered is actually an undercover like security dude or something like that. And he explained to me that lots of stores have this um during this time. I didn't even know grocery stores had this, right? Actually, tell you the truth, no wait, before that happened, when I called the police, I was at the front register and I was talking to the employee lady, and the employee lady was like a white lady. I'm all like, this dude keeps staring at me, and she wouldn't tell me who he was, right? She didn't tell me he was undercover. I'm all like, see, look, there he is right now. He's just giving me that death stare. She's like, oh yeah, he's looking at me pretty mean too. And she just like blew it off like it was nothing. So then when the cop came, he explained to me, this dude's undercover. And I'm all like, well, why did this man constantly follows me around and all this other? Because he was racially profiling me, thinking I was gonna steal and everything. And so like, needless to say, after that incident, he never worked there again. I don't know if he got in trouble. It's probably because he got made and everything. So now his cover is blown. And there's an easy way to determine who is like hidden security. But I'm not going to explain how, because that'll kind of give away what they are. But there's a really not even from them just staring at you, but there's a great way to determine who is undercover security, like when you go to like a store and everything, because it's something they do over and over and over again, and they're still there in the store all day long. So I can't really say why, because stuff like that. But it was like totally messed up, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, The dude literally just kept like following me around the stinking store. And when I mean he gave me the death stare, I mean he gave me the death stare. The dude clearly had a problem with like black people and stuff. And the thing is, I don't understand, like, because when you see him like talk to like white people, he's like all happy and smiles. But then when it came to me, he gave me the death stare. And it was just like one of the most bizarre things I ever encountered. 'Cause I've never truly encountered anything quite like that before, you know? And so, like, I get why Tony is like the way he is, and he's trying to like, he taught Nate that, and he taught Amelia that, but he's never taught like Cleo's kids and that and stuff because, of course, they're white and they'll never have to like experience anything like that. And it kind of reminds me of that Blackish episode, the Martin Luther ski episode where Drake's all like, no, Dre is all like, when he went to that convenience store called Whitey's, he's all like, watch, as soon as we come in, he's gonna be staring us down. It's called the sweet tea. And I'm just like, stuff like that. But the dude was like totally okay. I already explained that episode, so I don't have to re-explain that. But yeah, it's just like, and the problem is that like there's a couple of this like mainly two reasons, well, three reasons why a person will like racially profile you. Either, and this is a rare case, they really think you're stealing. That's like the rarest case of them all. The second case is they're racist. And of course the third one is, well, thank all your relatives who are like locked up right now, like my cousins. It's kind of like, there are criminals of all races, but for some bizarre reason, white people, or I should say non-black people, always assume all black people are like thugs and gangsters and drug dealers and people who carry guns and shoot places up. They always assume that because of like those those select black people who have went down that wrong path and are locked up behind bars, and they always assume all black people are like that. And that's like the dumbest thing ever. That's like saying all white people like country music, or rednecks, or like carry guns around. Is it like not everyone is like that, or all white people are like very snooty and that like they're in a sorority or a fraternity or something like that, And it's just like, I don't get it. It's like, if we don't do it to them, why they do it to us? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like so messed up and low down, and it still to this day goes on today. I mean, just look at Ahmad, dude, like, he was just like walking around that garage and stuff, and people assume like, and it was a construction site, and people just assume like, well, no, it was a house where they were doing construction and stuff like that, and they assume, oh, he must be like a bad person. They chased his behind down like he's some type of animal and hunted him down and shot him and stuff. And that was just so low down. I remember this one white actress from Charm, Holly Marie Combs. She's all like, she's done that millions of times, like gone into like a garage that's like had construction and stuff, and nothing's ever happened to her, and that's because she's white and everything, And so she was saying how like low down that was for them dudes do that to that guy, and it really is, it's just a shame, like all the racism that still goes on in this world today. Happy Black History Month, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye.